All right, we're going to start Rickson's video.
Great. Thank you. Hello, I'm Rickson Sharkey. Welcome to my home studio. I live in the small town of Hairston. I'm so honored to be invited to participate in Culture Days. I'm going to show you a short video that shows where my business is right now in my career, and then I'm going to tell you about my background and take you on a behind-the-scenes look at how custom jewelry is made by myself, Rickson Jewelry. Hi, I'm Rickson of Rickson Jewelry, and I work out of my home studio in the small town of Hairston, where I live with my 4 kids and my husband Jeremy, and I love what I do. I adore creating custom designs for my clients. I have my master's in jewelry design, and I'm a custom design specialist, working in diamonds, platinum, and gold. I also have a line of sterling silver gifts featuring engravings and birthstones. You can purchase my work online at ricksonjewelry.com. If you enjoy the brick and mortar experience, visit Bakelard Jewelers in Listowel for high-end custom designs. For my sterling silver gifts, you can purchase at Teeny Tiny Tots in Palmerston and Old to New Hair Salon in Hairston. I look forward to creating beautiful pieces for you and your loved ones. So that's where I am at now in my career. So now I'll tell you a little bit about my background and how I got to this point. So I'll go way back when I was young. I always liked art. I always loved to make gifts for people. And my grandmother inspired my love of jewelry. She always came to visit us dressed to the nines, just dripping in jewelry, and I would ask her about each piece. And she would tell me why my grandfather bought it for her, where they really like to travel, and all the special events, all the memories that were tied into those pieces. So that has lived with me forever. That's why I love making jewelry, because it's little gifts, it connects us, little tokens of our life. So she inspired that. So when I went to university, I chose fine arts because I didn't actually have a plan to do jewelry. I just loved art. So I went to OCAD, and when it was time to choose my major, I tried jewelry and I took right to it. I took Ken Vickerson's class at OCAD U, and I loved casting, I loved carving wax. And the very first piece I made was a cat necklace, and I wore it to the One of a Kind show, and this woman almost attacked me and said, "I love your necklace, how can I buy it? Where did you buy it?" Because she didn't know that I had made it. And I said, "Well, actually I made it," and I pulled out my little paper business cards that I had printed that morning, and I gave her one, and she contacted me. And I went back to school and I ran to my professor Ken. I said, "How do I do this? I don't know how to sell, I don't know how to price." And he showed me how to price it. And I think months later, I actually sold it to her. And she's still a client today. She still buys pieces. So that was how I started. So then Ken also helped me. He suggested an Etsy shop. So I opened my Etsy shop and I put pieces in it. And just over the years, the Etsy shop grew. So I continued to sell throughout my undergrad and even into my master's. So after I completed my BA at OCAD-U, I traveled to the UK to complete my master's in jewelry design at the Birmingham School of Jewelry. And I literally let my hair down. I made jewelry out of my hair. I actually cut my hair into a pixie cut, and I made necklaces out of my hair and resin, and I really tried to go out of my comfort zone. So that was an amazing experience. My work was received well. It was in Talente and Schmuck exhibits in Munich, Germany, and I felt like I was successful in the art jewelry world, but I didn't really feel like that was the path I wanted to go down. It wasn't as fulfilling when interacting with other people because it didn't sell and it didn't have a clear path towards an income or a career. I probably could have explored that further, but I was more into the Etsy shop. I was more into making gifts for people. I found that much more fulfilling. So I went that direction. But my master's was wonderful. It gave me the credentials to say I'm a master jeweler, and it allowed me to teach if I want, and it was just an incredible life experience. So I really enjoyed completing my master's. So after completing my master's in the UK, we returned to Canada, and my boyfriend, who is my husband now, he was my boyfriend at the time, we moved into a one-bedroom apartment, and we had our first child, and I was working as a jeweler full-time, so he had supported me throughout my school career, and now I was supporting our family. So that was exciting to actually do my career full-time and support us. So I felt like it was possible I could do this. But we were living in a pretty tight spot. My studio was almost like a closet, but it worked and I loved it. I did shows. I continued selling on Etsy. I did the farmers market on the weekends. I sold to friends and family, and I just kept continuing making pieces and expanding my experience. So when we decided to have our second child, we decided we needed more space. We didn't want to live in the small one-bedroom apartment in Brampton anymore. So we moved to Hairston, to this house that we're in now, and we just love it. We wanted a different lifestyle. We didn't want to live in the city. We wanted to buy our first home, so we did. So I'm very, very proud that I was able to purchase a home with my income and my career as an artist slash jeweler. So now I get to make my own hours, I get to spend time with the kids, and it's just such an accomplishment for me because when I was at university, it seemed impossible. I would talk to other female professors and women that had careers, and they would basically say that you had to choose. They'd say it's very, very difficult to do both. Most of them said it was impossible to have children and a career. So I'm extremely proud of myself that I've found a way to do it where I don't feel like I have to sacrifice too much in either avenue, in either role. I get to spend lots of time with my kids, and I get to spend time with my career. So I'm very proud of the lifestyle that we've built here in Hairston. So one of the main aspects of my career that I think is really important is that I started my business with making pieces that I wanted to make. A lot of my pieces that are still in my shop I made during my undergrad for me. My thesis was on dreams and the subconscious, and I wanted to study myself. I wanted to express my own ideas. I wanted to express myself. So when I made work, I would kind of ask other students, I say, what do you see? And if they saw what I wanted them to see, then I felt that that was a success. I wanted to communicate myself with my jewelry. So one of the things that inspired that idea is my uncle is a commercial artist. So he's a professional commercial artist. That's what he does for a living. He supports his family with it. And I interviewed him when I was young, like 7 or a young grade, when you had to interview someone who had a job that you would like to have. And he told me that he hates his job. he said that he said if you're going to do art, he said do something that you want to make. He said he did not like doing what other people wanted. He always had to do the style that other people wanted, and he felt like a slave to the industry. So that piece of advice also stuck with me. So even though I do custom designs, I started my business with my style and my pieces. So now the people that come to me for custom designs, they like me, they like my style. So I don't feel like I'm a slave to my clients. I feel like I get to work in collaboration with them to make the pieces that they want, but I also enjoy making. So it's a collaborative effort. It's not me saying, okay, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, and doing everything they want. So I think that's a really important aspect to my career, and the way that it's evolved is I started with my own work. So I'm so excited. This package just came, and I wanted to show you because this will give you a little behind the scenes peek at my custom design process. So because we've already drawn this design and did it on CAD, it's actually here. I'm going to show you. So this is the piece I've been working on. So you can see it's like a really elaborate piece. It's got skeletons and a big garnet that is my client's stone. It has sentimental value, so she wanted to work it in. And then this is the CAD design. I was photoshopping. I wanted to show clients the CAD right into the gold rendering. So that is that. And now, because we'd already done that, my CAD designer sent the file to my casting house, and then my casting house cast it, sent it to my polisher. My polisher and my stone setter did their work, and now they've sent it to me. So now I get to see it, and then I always do a little quality control. I just make sure everything is perfect. And now you can see, but it's not too blurry. Oh, I think it's too blurry. I'll show you guys a picture of it, but it's gorgeous. And I'm so excited. I think this is one of the most complicated pieces I've done. So that's the exciting part about how my whole business is structured, is I get to do more and more exciting pieces all the time, because every time I do a custom design, I put it in my shop, and then people see, wow, she can do that level of work. So I get to do more and more exciting things all the time. So I think the main reason I've been able to build a career around my jewelry is that I've really embraced the custom design aspect of the industry. I kind of saw a window there. There was a gap in the industry because there's this stigma in the art world that artists don't want to change their work, and many artists don't want to change their work, so it's true for many artists. But there's always this hesitation from my clients where they don't really want to ask for me to make changes. Now they do, because that's sort of my mission statement, is to create custom designs. But in the beginning, when I wasn't that clearly defined, clients would say, oh, I love this clotter ring, but I want to change it and I don't want to offend you, but can we do a different crown? And I would say, yes, I would love to do that. So I really love doing custom designs. So I've just continued doing them and exploring that. So now over the years, I have a very structured custom design process that works really, really well. So I start with, I have 3 stages. So the first stage is discussing the design, working out all the details. I give a quote, and clients often tell me how much they want to spend. And I really enjoy finding that balance between the budget, the design, the materials, the aesthetics, and the fit. So it has to be wearable and comfortable and, you know, last a lifetime and further. I like to create pieces that will become heirlooms eventually. So once we agree on a price and my client has made a deposit, then we move on to stage two. And that's the really exciting part where I get to do designs. So I do drawings. And then once they approve drawings, we make 3D CAD images, or I carve the piece in wax. So this is sort of the magic element of my custom designs is clients are involved the entire time, and they get to see exactly what the piece will look like before it's finished. So there's no fear, there's no mystery, it's just clear, and they can be confident that it will look the way it wants. So this is really wonderful because it covers both of us. It's a partnership between me and them where I want them to be happy with it. So I want to show them exactly what it will look like so everyone's happy, and they also want to see what it will look like so they will be happy. So that's kind of the key ingredient to successful custom designs for me. And I also offer unlimited designing. So I've noticed some artists do limits. They'll say, well, you know, one design with 3 changes, things like that. And this can be very useful to motivate clients to not be all over the place. But I find if I do stage one efficiently and, you know, fully, then we know exactly what the client wants. And then stage two is pretty seamless. I usually only have to make a couple changes, if that. Usually I do the drawing and they love the first drawing because we've already established exactly what they want, and I'm fairly intuitive, and they also came to me because they like my style. So it all kind of works in harmony where I don't have to limit my designing time. I can say unlimited. Also, another reason I can do that is my pieces are an investment in my business. So every custom design will go into my shop eventually if I think it's something other people might like. So I don't mind spending extra time designing because I'm investing in my own company. My clients are basically funding the new designs of my shop. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship. So after the designing part is done, we make the ring or the necklace, whatever they want. And then once it's finished, I send them pictures, and they're always thrilled. So then they pay the other half of the payment so that they're all paid up. And then I ship the piece to them, and I take pictures, and now I take videos, and that's the whole process. So another key ingredient to my custom design success is that over the years I've taken on jobs that I had never done before. So clients would come to me and say, I really want this piece, and I would say, okay. But then I would go and I would pool my resources. So I might message Ken, my professor, or I might message my master's professor, or people that I had met in the industry, like my casting house. The first time I worked with them during my undergrad, they said that they loved my piece and that it would sell. And they said if I ever need anything to go to them. So I did. So over the years, I've made a lot of relationships in the industry. So when clients come to me with pieces I don't know how to make, I just ask my circle for help, and they help me make it happen. So over the years, I've figured out my talents and which elements to outsource. So I have a casting house, I have a stone setter, a polisher, a watch repairman, I have a source for sapphire crystal because I've made hair rings where I set the hair under the crystal because it's more scratch resistant than glass. Just to show you how, as I get experienced, I pick up these little details that make it possible for me to take on any job now. So I do titanium rings, silicone. I have a line of silicone rings, and all custom because the jewelry industry is really oversaturated. So for me to just sell silicone rings, I would be competing with all the other companies. But for me to sell custom silicone rings, I'm not competing with all of these companies that pump out a lot of pieces. I'm appealing to the clients who want something extra special. So now I have a team of specialists that I've built relationships with, so I can literally make anything with confidence. When clients come to me, I don't even bat an eye. I just say, yeah, we can totally make that happen. So speaking of relationships, how I've built relationships with all of my specialists in the industry, that also leads into building relationships with clients. So I was recently listening to a podcast by Brendan Hufford. He's an SEO specialist, and he was talking about the importance of making friendships. So his theory is that humans like to work with their friends. So if you make friends with someone, they're more likely to work with you, and it's very true, right? If you have a job, you're more likely to ask your friend to work with you than someone you don't know, someone you don't trust. We generally trust our friends. So this really reassured me because I spend a lot of my day doing customer service. So over the years, I've figured out exactly where I shine. I focus on customer service, designing, wax carving, working with my CAD designers also with the design elements, photography, and videos and social media. So that's where I focus my attention. But sometimes I worry that I'm focusing too much attention on the customer relations element. I'll be chatting to a client about Star Trek because they are getting a Star Trek themed ring, and I'll think, oh, I'm wasting my time. I should be focusing on, carving wax or drawing a design, which I also have to do. I have to time block my day to get everything done. But Brendan's podcast reassured me that I'm not wasting my time when I'm talking to clients. I'm investing in them, in their experience, and in my business, because when I make friends with clients, we connect on Facebook, we connect on social media, they share my work with their friends. It's just it grows. It's just a never-ending spider web of connections when you build valuable relationships with people. So I really have to do a huge, major thank you to all of my friends and clients and family and professors I've met over the years, my entire team of specialists. We all work together cohesively to make Rickson Jewelry thrive, and I can't thank everyone enough. I'm so grateful to have this lifestyle, and I really have everyone to thank for it. So thank you. So I just wanted to thank you for inviting me to speak to you today. I hope you learned something. I hope it inspired you to pursue a career in whatever you want, because it's definitely possible. My career didn't exist when I went to university. People didn't even sell online when I started. People said, "I don't understand. Do you know the people that bought it from you?" And I said, "No." And they said, "They sent you money first?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so it was crazy to people to shop online. So yeah, you can do whatever you want. You just stay on the path of what you're interested in, and I'm sure you'll find a way to make it happen. So I'll be available for questions after the presentation, and I'd like you to know that I'm always available for questions. I'm very much into sharing information. I don't like to hoard information. I'm all about clients making informed choices when they work with me, or even if they don't work with me. I don't mind talking to clients, and I like talking to students. I just did an interview the other day with a student. She was studying custom design. So, yeah, I'm always available. And I just wanted you to know what a joy it was to talk to you today. And thank you for listening.
Hi. Can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you.
There, that's better. All right. Thank you,
There.
Rickson.
Oh,
That
here.
was
I'll
very
turn up the volume.
interesting.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Oh, good.
Yes, well done. And yeah, you're a great addition to Minto, that's for sure. Glad you said
Pardon?
that. You've been a great addition to Minto. Glad
Oh,
to
thank
have you
you.
here.
Yeah, I was so glad to come here. We actually moved here and we didn't know anything about Minto, so it was lucky. Lucky that we like it so much.
Yeah, no, that's a good house, and yeah, glad you're part of the Arts Council too. So,
Oh, thank you.
I still don't see anyone in the room here.
That's okay. Did you have any questions?
Well, how did you pick Minto? I know we've had quite a few kind of artists, cultural workers come here, and they always say it was the cheap housing. But what was your decision?
Yeah, it was a little bit. We actually were looking in like a 2 hour radius from Brampton. So my husband and I grew up in Brampton. And so we were looking all over. We were looking for a house that we could afford, but we also didn't want to live in Brampton anymore. It was getting too busy for us. We wanted to live in a smaller town. So we just looked for a house, and I actually found this house myself. Like, we had a real estate agent. We were traveling around looking for houses, and I was very pregnant.
Mhm.
So it was really fun. And yeah, I found this house and I saw the pictures online, and the second floor is like very the ceilings are angled, so I thought, oh, it won't work. I'm 6 foot tall, I'm very
Mhm.
tall.
Yeah.
But we thought, well, we'll go see it anyway, and it was listed as a story and a half, so we were worried, so we came to see it, and it's just gorgeous. The second floor does have angled ceilings, but the lowest point is like above my head. Like, it's just beautiful. Yeah, so we loved the house, and I think we bought it right away. Like, it was only on the market for 3 days before we got it. So yeah, it was perfect. And it has the studio. So yeah, people used to ask us the same when we moved here. They'd say, oh, well, why did you choose Minto? Like, does your husband work here? And I said, no, actually, I work at home, so we could live anywhere. Like, I sell online. So we were very like open to where we could live. We were flexible. So it was really lucky. When we read online, Minto, where your family belongs, we thought,
Yeah.
well, that's a good sign. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's excellent. Yeah, I think that house was on a house tour just not long before you bought it. And it's a
Yeah.
beautiful house. It's so
Oh,
unique.
gorgeous. Yeah, Barry and Linda, we heard all about them. They used to do the Christmas tour.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and even Linda, she makes pictures out of jewelry. So they were all over the house, and we thought, well, that's a good sign too. And I actually hired her after we moved here to make a picture with all of my grandmother's jewelry that she left for me, like all of her clip-on earrings that I wasn't going to wear. So she made a big butterfly for me, and it's framed at the front of the house. So it's kind of neat. It does seem to be a really good arts community here in Minto.
Excellent. Yeah, it's kind of funny how we're returning back to the cottage industries from, 200 years ago. We're almost in that. But if you marry that way of working with modern technology and fiber optic, it
That,
works very well.
yeah, that's true. It's strange right now, like in our current climate, I'm already set up perfectly to work from home. Like, I don't have any contact with my clients. I don't even have contact with the people I work with, like my contract workers, like my polisher and casting house, it's all done by mail because it would be like it would sort of be a waste of time for me to travel to Toronto. And also I don't want to live in Toronto and I don't need to. So yeah, it works out perfectly.
Yeah, yeah, it's very good, and I guess necessity has made that a way of working no matter what, and in the new economy for sure too. So yeah, no, it's fascinating, and to hear that you've been, educated, both here and abroad too, and it's I guess your market's the whole world when you're in the custom and you're online. So
It's true, because I tried so many things with locals and I was successful. Like I did, it gave me the information I needed. I could see, okay, people do like my work always sold, but your market is so small when you only sell to the people who live around you. Like my target market might not be next door. They might live in the US or Japan or Australia. So yeah, it really opens things up when you go online and you can sell to everyone. And I notice a lot of stores do what I'm doing now, like because I'm making a website. So I was researching other, like my competition, and even big jewelry companies will do custom work now. But I don't think they're as experienced as I am because I've been doing it for over 15 years. So my techniques are very like streamlined with how to figure out what people want and work with their budget. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how things change so quickly for custom designs.
for sure, and the big guys can't do customer service, no matter what industry. That's the
So,
thing.
yeah, I hired someone to do customer service for me for a little bit because I didn't have time to answer all the messages. And I quickly saw that I need to do the customer service because I was losing clients because she just wasn't answering questions the way I would. She would kind of turn people off, not on purpose, but just, if you're too short, like I kind of get a sense of how people want to talk. Like if someone says a one-line question, I know they don't want to talk a lot. So I give a 1 or 2 line answer. But if someone's telling me their life story, then I know they want to talk. So then I talk. So yeah, it's true. The customer service is part of the experience when you're getting custom designs.
Yeah, the whole thing of building the brand and everything, and heck, it's even the hardware store. It's having local people doing local things too. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
that's great. All right. Well, thank you very much. That was very interesting.
You're welcome.
And,
Thanks for inviting me. It was quite fun creating the presentation, and I'm glad people can watch it still after this live Q&A. That'll be good.
excellent. All right. Well, we look forward to your next creations for sure.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Sam. Bye.
Bye.